Archangel Michael says, "A great danger is quietly growing around you, and your spirit is leaking blessings because of a hidden error you made without realizing its cost. There is a crack that must be sealed before your peace, your money, your relationships, and your calling fall further into the grip of the enemy's deception." I am not saying this to frighten you, but to open your eyes before it is too late. You are bleeding in ways you haven't even noticed, and heaven cannot remain silent while your destiny is being eaten alive from the inside. You are loved too much to be left alone in this blind spot. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength. Right now, in this very moment, the enemy is rejoicing because your hands have unknowingly built a trap that you are now caught in. You thought you were doing the right thing, you thought you were protecting yourself, you thought you were planting seeds for growth, but instead, what you did opened the door to something unseen that is now stealing your joy, your strength, and your divine provision. It is hidden so well that even when you pray, you feel something is not quite right, something is blocking your breakthrough, and that something is not external. It's something that happened deep in a moment of panic, pressure, or pride. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you always keep God first. Child of God, listen closely. There was a decision you made, or a thought you entertained, that did not come from a place of trust in the Lord. It came from fear, from desperation, from believing you were alone and had to fight by yourself. That's when the spiritual bleeding began. The moment you turned your eyes away from faith and tried to survive using your own understanding, a hidden agreement was made. An unseen trap was formed. And from that moment, your blessings began to leak. Not all at once, but slowly, silently, like a slow drip in the night, unnoticed until the damage becomes impossible to ignore. This is not about shame, this is about rescue. This is about love so deep that heaven interrupted your scrolling, your breathing, your mourning, to send this message straight into your spirit. You are not too far gone. You are not ruined. But you are in danger if you do not pause and truly let this warning enter your soul. The Lord has been whispering to you in your dreams, in small nudges, in quiet hesitations you felt before making certain decisions. You ignored those nudges because you were tired, overwhelmed, and just wanted something to work. And the enemy used that moment to slip through, to plant something that looked like help but was actually poison. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. You've noticed the delay. You've seen the money disappear, the opportunities fade, the joy slip away slowly. You've blamed yourself, you've blamed others, and some days, you've even blamed God. But heaven is not punishing you. Heaven is trying to wake you up. The bleeding is not random. The loss is not coincidence. There is a spiritual root to what's happening, and until you dig it up and surrender it, no amount of work, no amount of prayer said with fear, will fix it. God does not want your panic. He wants your honesty. He wants your return to faith, not just in words, but in full surrender. Type 1010 if you trust in God's timing. You are standing in front of two roads. One will lead you to more confusion, more loss, more pretending everything is fine while bleeding inside. The other road will feel uncomfortable at first, because it will ask you to stop running, to stop controlling, to stop fixing things your own way. But that road leads to healing. It leads to restoration. It leads to open doors that won't shut again. And I'm here, as your angel assigned to protect you, to stand in front of the wrong path and block you from taking another step that will cost you more than you can afford. This is not just about money. It's about everything tied to your money, your stability, your confidence, your ability to help others, your dreams, your future generations. The enemy knows if he can drain your finances, he can drain your faith. He knows if he can exhaust your energy trying to fix what's broken, you won't have strength left to pursue what's divine. That is why the attack has been so subtle. He didn't want you to notice until it was too late. But God said, "Enough, send my angel, sound the alarm. My child must not fall into this trap any deeper. Remain with me until the last word, for this message carries healing for your spirit." Now is the time to get still. To be honest with yourself and with God. Ask Him to show you where the mistake began. Ask Him to reveal what agreement you unknowingly made. Ask Him to cover that place with His mercy and to restore what has been stolen. This message is your divine reset. You don't need to earn your way back into favor. You just need to return. You need to lay down your pride, your plans, your pressure, and say, "God, I didn't know what I was doing, but I know you still love me, show me how to fix it with you." And when you say that with your whole heart, the bleeding will stop. The heavens will move. The chains will begin to break. The fog will lift. The money that disappeared will find its way back in the form of unexpected blessings. The people who left will be replaced with those who love you for real. The doors that slammed shut will open so wide that no one can close them again. But you must take this warning seriously. You must choose to listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. This is your moment. This is your wake-up call. This is your divine rescue. There is a very specific area of your life where this hidden mistake is deeply rooted. It may not be something dramatic. Sometimes the most dangerous traps are not loud or violent. They come softly, disguised as wisdom or logic. It may have been a deal that felt convenient at the time, a relationship you stayed in out of guilt, a fear-based decision you made when money got tight, or even a grudge you kept silently while smiling on the outside. All of these can look harmless, but in the realm of spirit, they carry weight. And if not addressed, they become access points for the enemy to steal what God had planned to give you freely. Type 1414 to step into divine protection. Right now, the Lord is standing beside you. Not behind you, not far from you, but right next to you. His presence is not distant. It is near, closer than the words you are reading. He is whispering not to scold you, but to remind you that your future is not lost. He is still holding the version of your life that is full of peace, provision, and divine purpose. But He cannot force it on you. He needs your yes. Not just a yes in passing. Not just a yes spoken in church but forgotten the next morning. He needs a deep, grounded yes that says, I will go back and face the thing I've been avoiding. I will correct what needs correcting. The longer you avoid this unseen trap, the more it will cost you. And not just financially. It can cost your peace. It can steal your clarity. It can cause division between you and people who were sent to help you. The enemy does not always come with horns. Sometimes he shows up as a shortcut. Sometimes he appears as a logical decision that pushes God out of the equation. And sometimes he disguises himself as your own voice, convincing you to keep pushing forward in the wrong direction just to avoid starting over. But you are not starting over. You are beginning again, and that is not the same. The truth is, this mistake did not disqualify you from God's promises. It only delayed them. Delay does not mean denial. But delays become dangerous when you refuse to pause, reflect, and realign. Right now, in this very hour, heaven is holding out a spiritual mirror in front of you. Not to shame you. Not to condemn you. But to show you the one place where darkness is hiding and leaking out your blessings. When you see it, don't run from it. Embrace it. Say, thank you, God, for showing me where I've gone off track. Thank you for caring enough to stop me before I walked further into destruction. Let this truth enter you gently. Nothing that was stolen from you is too far gone for God to restore. Not the money. Not the love. Not the time. God is the author of restoration. But restoration begins with revelation. You cannot receive what God has for you with hands that are still holding on to fear, secrets, or guilt. Let go. Release the false sense of control. Lay down the pressure to figure it all out. You don't need to fix it alone. God never asked you to. He just asked you to return. To admit what went wrong. To open your eyes and stop pretending that everything is okay when deep down you know it's not. And maybe, for a long time, you've kept up the appearance. You've smiled when you were breaking inside. You've told people, God will provide, while secretly wondering if He still hears you. That kind of pretending is heavy. That kind of pressure is not what you were created for. You were created to walk in light, to walk in truth, to walk in a flow of divine abundance that doesn't depend on hustle or fear or manipulation. But that flow can only reach you when the hidden blockage is removed. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. Let God show you where the leak began. Maybe it was a vow you made during a season of pain. Maybe it was the bitterness you swore you buried but never truly released. Maybe it was choosing someone else's voice over God's whisper. Whatever it was, it can be healed. It can be reversed. But you must look at it with open eyes. That is why I was sent today. To stop you from losing everything. To speak the truth before the trap closes around your purpose forever. This is not just about a warning. This is about a rescue. Type 666 if you believe in God's grace. God's love is not afraid of your mistakes. He is not ashamed of your failures. He still calls you beloved. He still sees the version of your life that is blessed, fruitful, overflowing with peace and provision. But you cannot reach that place while carrying something that does not belong in your future. You must release it. You must uproot it. And you must walk forward with eyes wide open, heart surrendered, and spirit fully awake. There is more for you than this. And God is not done. There is a light pouring into your soul now, a kind of warmth you haven't felt in a long time. It's not just emotion, it's the presence of God returning to the places inside you that were shut down by disappointment, fear, and betrayal. The reason you felt so distant from peace lately isn't because God left you, but because a lie entered that caused you to move away from Him without realizing it. A lie that said you had to do it all on your own. A lie that made you think survival was better than surrender. That lie has cost you more than money. It has cost you rest. But no more. Heaven wants you to feel safe again. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. There's been a deep sense of instability growing in your heart, like you've been constantly bracing for something else to go wrong. But that constant tension isn't from God. That's what happens when a soul is carrying too much pressure, too many unspoken fears, too many regrets that were never confessed out loud. But now, with each word of this message, your spirit is breathing again. Your shoulders are lowering. Your chest is no longer tight with invisible weight. You are being washed in peace, and it's not temporary. This is the beginning of your healing for real. The financial attacks, the missed opportunities, the constant feeling of lack, none of them are your final story. They were never meant to define you. They were warnings. Not to destroy you, but to lead you back. You see, God does not allow the enemy to touch certain parts of your life unless it is to bring your heart back into alignment. And that is what this moment is. A divine realignment. Heaven is correcting the path. What felt like chaos was actually redirection. What looked like failure was the Father saying, "Come home." That wasn't your promise anyway. And now, God is moving with precision. He is beginning to close the wrong doors you were trying so hard to keep open. He is shutting down the connections that looked good but were draining your purpose. He is clearing the spiritual noise that made you doubt your intuition. Because when you are chosen, when you carry divine destiny, God will not let you bleed out unnoticed. He will interrupt everything to get your attention, even if it means letting something collapse so you stop leaning on it instead of leaning on Him. You've been leaning on things that can't hold you anymore. People. Plans. Performances. Those were never your foundation. They were only temporary assignments. But the foundation was always supposed to be God's truth, God's timing, and God's instructions. And now, with your eyes opening, the rebuilding begins. This is not the end. This is the start of something better than you imagined. But it will require you to release the old patterns. The need to control. The fear of not having enough. The desperate grasping for approval or security. You don't need to grasp anymore. What God has for you is coming with peace, not panic. Type 1919 to embrace healing. Take a deep breath. This is your turnaround. Not because everything has changed instantly, but because you finally chose to see clearly. The truth will always bring change. Maybe not overnight in the natural, but immediately in the spirit. And once your spirit shifts, everything else follows. The favor will return. The doors will open. The clarity will come. The money will flow. The relationships will align. But most of all, your soul will stop aching for something it couldn't explain. This is not random. It's not just another emotional moment. This is divine interruption. This is God stepping in and saying, no more bleeding. No more confusion. No more pretending you're fine when you're hurting inside. This is where you get to walk out of the trap and into the truth. The truth that says you are not alone. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are beloved. You are seen. You are being carried into something greater than anything you've lost. What felt like the end was actually the mercy of God preventing you from going any further in the wrong direction. And now, you must keep walking. Don't return to the thing that drained you. Don't try to explain your healing to people who benefited from your confusion. Don't shrink yourself back into the place where you lost yourself. You are not returning there. That season is over. The bleeding is ending. The restoration is beginning. Your name is being spoken in places you haven't even stepped into yet. And God is about to show you why the delay was necessary, why the loss was protection, and why this correction is a gift wrapped in love. What you are feeling now is not confusion. It's clarity returning. After walking through a fog of pressure, exhaustion, and false confidence, the light is beginning to rise again inside you. You are remembering who you really are, not the version of you shaped by fear or loss or people's expectations, but the version God saw when He created you with purpose. That version is rising again. It's not too late. You are not too old, too far gone, or too damaged. Every single part of your story can still become part of God's masterpiece if you continue walking in truth. There is something important you must understand about this moment. When God reveals a hidden trap and stops you from walking deeper into destruction, it is not just mercy, it is a divine invitation. An invitation to step into a higher version of your calling. An invitation to trust more deeply. An invitation to operate from spiritual authority instead of emotional reaction. You are not just being healed. You are being elevated. But elevation requires pruning. It requires shedding the habits, mindsets, and connections that made sense in survival but cannot come with you into abundance. Some of what you lost was never going to last. Some of who walked away was never meant to stay. The shaking wasn't cruelty, it was clarity. It showed you what couldn't go with you into your next season. God never takes without the intention to give more. But He must remove what will rot your blessing before He releases the fullness of what He promised. That's what this message is preparing you for. Not just healing from the bleeding, but strength to carry the weight of what's coming. Your next season will be full, and you must be whole to carry it. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. You don't have to perform for this restoration. You don't have to earn it. You don't need a perfect prayer or flawless record. What you need is honesty, consistency, a return to God as your source, not just in words, but in how you move, think, and decide. You cannot return to old systems that drained your faith. You cannot live in two places, half in fear, half in trust. You must choose fully. Because heaven responds to full surrender. That is the soil where miracles grow. And you are entering miracle soil right now, even if it doesn't look like it yet. Type 222 if you know God is with you. God is about to show you just how intentional He's been the whole time. Every delay had a purpose. Every closed door protected you. Every breakdown was heaven's way of saying, that foundation isn't strong enough. Let me rebuild it with you. And now, that rebuilding has begun. Slowly, brick by brick, your spirit is regaining strength. Your joy is finding breath again. Your discernment is sharpening. And your finances, though they were once leaking through unseen cracks, are about to be redirected through divine rivers that flow without effort or fear. The flow is coming. It won't come through manipulation, striving, or performance. It will come through rest, through obedience, through deep inner healing that changes how you relate to everything, your time, your money, your relationships, your future. This is not just financial recovery. This is soul recovery. This is God reminding you that you were never meant to bleed your way through life. You were made to shine. You were made to overflow. You were made to walk in a peace so steady, nothing outside of you can take it away. But you must keep your eyes open. The trap may try to whisper again. Old patterns may try to call you back. But this time, you will recognize the voice for what it is. You will not fall into the same snare twice. You are no longer blind to it. The enemy cannot steal from a child of God who has been made aware. Your awareness is now your protection. And your obedience will be your weapon. Every time you choose truth over ease, faith over fear, patience over panic, you step further into divine alignment. And that alignment will unlock doors you don't even know exist yet. Type Amen if you believe God is your strength, and share this powerful video with 5 faithful souls to receive blessings and miracles. The reason this message came with so much urgency is because you are on the edge of something big. There is something God is about to release in your life that carries weight and purpose, something that will touch others beyond just you. That's why the enemy fought so hard to confuse you, distract you, and keep you leaking blessings in silence. But now, the silence is breaking. The trap has been revealed. And your yes to healing has changed the direction of your future. You are not going back. You are going forward with peace, power, and God's presence all around you. There are blessings that were delayed, prayers that seemed unanswered, and opportunities that disappeared quietly, not because you weren't worthy, but because heaven was waiting for your healing to begin. The moment your heart turned back to God with humility and truth, the lock started to fall away, and doors long closed began to creak open again. You are entering into a divine reversal. What the enemy meant to destroy you with, God is now using as the very soil for your growth. What was stolen in silence will be returned in the light. This is not wishful thinking. This is the divine law of restoration at work. The enemy does not get the final word. The blood loss is stopping. The spiritual cracks are sealing. And what once looked like a season of emptiness is turning into a season of divine instruction, correction, and fulfillment. You are not walking alone. You are surrounded by heavenly protection. Even now, as you sit with these words, angels are assigned to the path ahead of you. They are clearing out what was sent to distract you. They are covering you from spiritual traps disguised as blessings. They are watching over your family, your finances, and your future, making sure that nothing planted in deceit takes root again. You are being shielded in a way that cannot be seen with human eyes, but your heart can feel the shift. You are not just recovering. You are being rebuilt with fireproof faith. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul. And that faith will no longer depend on results or timing or applause. It will be rooted in knowing that even when things feel delayed, God is still doing something meaningful. Your relationship with God is no longer going to be based on fear of what might go wrong. It's going to be based on the trust that even when things go quiet, God is still working behind the scenes. You will stop rushing. You will stop scrambling. You will stop measuring your worth by how fast things happen. And in that rest, you will find the miracle flow. This flow will begin to touch your finances first. Not because money is the most important thing, but because it's the area where the enemy tried to wound you the deepest. The enemy knew that if he could make you feel broke, he could make you feel broken. But the truth is, money was never the source. God has always been the source, and now that your heart is aligned, the provision is returning. Not in small ways. Not in just enough scraps. But in overflow. In unexpected deposits. In cleared debts. In restored streams. In blessings so specific, you'll know it was only God. You won't have to beg for what's coming. You won't have to hustle for it. What's coming to you is coming through peace, not panic. You're stepping into a season where the right doors open without pressure. The right people appear without chasing. The right answers arrive without confusion. And the right provision shows up without shame. You are not behind. You are exactly where God needs you to be now that you've let Him heal what was hiding. This is where things begin to feel lighter. Not because everything is fixed instantly, but because the burden is no longer yours to carry alone. The pressure that once sat on your chest, the worry that sat behind your eyes, the ache in your back from trying to keep it all together, that is leaving you now. Heaven is placing peace where panic used to live. You don't have to be in control anymore. God has taken the reins again, and He is steering your life with care, wisdom, and mercy. Stay close to Him. Wake up each day and hand Him your decisions. Don't rush into agreements or opportunities just because they seem good on the surface. Listen for that still voice in your heart. Let peace be your guide. If it feels rushed, forced, or draining, it is not from God. His blessings don't come with torment. His instructions don't create confusion. His presence will always bring clarity, even if the path is unfamiliar. That's how you'll know the difference now. And don't be afraid to start fresh. You may have to rebuild some things. You may have to say no to people who once felt familiar. You may have to let go of roles, routines, or reputations that were part of your old survival identity. But what's ahead is worth everything it takes to get there. The clarity you now carry will protect your future from being repeated in the pain of your past. You've been chosen to live differently now. Chosen to walk in awareness, in wisdom, and in wonder. You've been chosen to carry peace, not pressure. And from this point on, you are going to see proof. Not just emotional comfort, but real change. Unexpected provision. Divine favor. Restored relationships. Creative ideas that turn into overflow. Protection from things you didn't even know were coming. Peace that doesn't leave you the moment something goes wrong. Strength that rises up even when the path isn't clear. You've moved into divine territory now. And nothing the enemy planned will work against you again. Type 1616 if you surrender to God's will. This awakening isn't loud or dramatic. It's soft, quiet, and full of clarity. It feels like stillness, but it carries power. The kind of power that doesn't need to shout to be strong. The kind that restores without demand. The kind that lifts you up without needing you to perform. God has stepped in. And because you've let Him step in, the confusion that once kept you anxious is fading. The noise of lies, pressure, and fear is losing its power. And you are beginning to hear the true voice of the Lord again, not just around you, but within you. That voice is telling you that what you lost will be restored, not in the same form, but in better form. The blessings coming back to you won't look exactly like the ones that slipped away, because God is not interested in repeating your past. He is building something new, something stronger, something custom-made for the version of you that has survived this storm. The mistake that caused the bleeding was real, but your repentance made room for God's grace. And now grace is rewriting the next chapter of your story. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brainwave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. You don't have to be afraid anymore. The ground beneath you is not going to break. The people meant to walk with you from here will not leave you the moment things get hard. The opportunities that God sends now will not come with strings of anxiety, pressure, or compromise. You are no longer chasing things. You are aligned. You are positioned. And what is yours will find you, not because of your effort, but because of your obedience. That's the kind of peace you've entered into, one where your spirit leads, not your panic. And that peace is priceless. It's not just emotional relief. It's a spiritual weapon. It will protect you from the traps you once fell into. You'll notice when something is wrong before it even happens. You'll feel it in your spirit. You'll pause instead of rushing. You'll pray instead of panicking. You'll wait instead of forcing. This is the wisdom that only comes after walking through spiritual fire and surviving. And you, beloved child of God, have survived. You've walked through fire and kept your heart from turning completely cold. That is a kind of strength heaven honors. Now, restoration will begin to show itself in layers. First within your peace. Then in your finances. Then in your relationships. Then in your confidence. And eventually, in the outward doors that were once closed so tightly. They will open. Not because you begged, but because you obeyed. God will show you why the delay was divine. Why the detour was necessary. Why the people who left were part of the protection. You will not be bitter when you see it clearly. You will be grateful that God interrupted what you thought you wanted to save you from what would have destroyed you. This is not about living in regret. This is about standing in redemption. You are not who you were when the bleeding began. That person was doing the best they could with what they had. But now, you have more. You have insight. You have alignment. You have spiritual maturity that can't be shaken by appearances. You've seen what happens when you trust fear. Now, you are choosing faith. You've seen what happens when you push forward without God's instruction. Now, you are moving with Him at every step. That shift will change everything. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength. And even now, as this shift takes root, heaven is responding. Conversations are happening on your behalf in places you haven't yet entered. Resources are moving toward you quietly. Someone you don't even know is being stirred to bless you. A decision that was going to be made without you is being redirected to include you. This is how God works in the lives of those who yield. He moves in the background until it's time to reveal the blessing, and when it comes, it won't come alone. It will come with confirmation. It will come with peace. It will come with joy that doesn't vanish. Don't be surprised when you begin to feel lighter in the places that used to feel heavy. That is the proof of healing. Don't be alarmed when you begin to lose interest in things that once consumed your time but led nowhere. That is the sign of alignment. Don't panic when familiar paths start to look unfamiliar. That is God redirecting your feet so you don't fall back into old traps. All of this is good. All of this is movement. All of this is mercy in motion. God has not forgotten a single prayer you whispered through tears. He's just answering them now that you're strong enough to hold the blessing. Stay open. Stay surrendered. Keep choosing stillness over struggle. The trap is broken. The bleeding is ending. The rebuilding has begun. Slowly, silently, powerfully. Heaven is honoring the yes you gave in your spirit when you said, "I will not ignore this warning. I will not lose everything. I choose to open my eyes." You chose to face the truth, and because of that, the chains that once kept your blessings bound are being undone. The delay is breaking. The loss is reversing. The spiritual hand that was covering your eyes is being removed. You are now able to see the patterns that once led you into cycles of survival. You are no longer at the mercy of decisions rooted in fear. You are no longer guessing whether you're walking the right path. You can feel the difference now. You can feel the nearness of God in the quiet places. You can feel the confirmation in your chest when peace enters the room without explanation. This is how you will begin to live from now on. Not by striving. Not by proving. But by listening. Listening to the gentle, consistent voice of God that has always been present, even when your world was noisy. That voice will lead you into open doors without pressure. That voice will guide you through closed doors without bitterness. That voice will keep you safe from future traps because now you know what deception feels like. You won't fall for it again. You've been trained in the fire. You've been forged in the storm. And now, you are stronger, wiser, and ready. Let this part settle into your heart deeply. God does not hold your past mistake against you. He used it as the doorway to your deliverance. He used it to break the pride, the fear, the self-dependence that once blinded you. And now that it's broken, you are free to receive the life He originally planned for you. A life of calm. A life of clarity. A life where you are no longer bleeding from unhealed wounds or driven by silent panic. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what you choose now. And you are choosing well. Type 111 if you believe miracles are near. Even now, divine compensation is being arranged. What was taken from you unjustly is returning in unexpected ways. The people who overlooked you will be replaced by those who see your value with clear eyes. The rejections you faced will now make sense as redirection from heaven. The finances that disappeared will return with interest. And the spiritual authority you carry will grow each time you choose faith over fear. You are no longer powerless. You are no longer waiting in confusion. You are walking in promise. And those promises will begin to manifest in layers. First, your peace. Then, your provision. Then, your purpose. You will begin to notice how things that once triggered you now pass by without disturbing your calm. You will see how your needs are met without begging or chasing. You will witness how doors begin to open not because you forced them, but because heaven prepared them. And most importantly, you will know what it feels like to be whole on the inside, even before anything changes on the outside. This is the real miracle, peace that stays. Not peace that visits for a moment, but peace that lives with you. It will stay even on days when things feel slow. It will remain even when you face disappointment. Because now you know where your source is. And when God is your source, you are never truly empty. You are never truly behind. You are never truly forgotten. This is the season where you begin to walk as someone who knows they are chosen, covered, and directed by something bigger than emotions or circumstances. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. Let this season be sacred. Don't rush it. Don't compare it. Don't try to explain it to people who can't see what you see. Walk quietly, but walk confidently. Everything is being rebuilt with stronger materials this time. Materials shaped by wisdom, faith, humility, and obedience. You are not just going to recover, you are going to rise. And when you rise, it will not be shaky. It will be stable. Because God Himself has become your foundation again, and that kind of foundation never crumbles under pressure. As you move forward, be gentle with yourself. Healing is not about perfection. It's about consistency. Some days you will feel the strength of heaven pouring through you. Other days, you will need reminders like this one to keep going. But each step you take in truth keeps the flow of blessings open. Each day you walk with open eyes keeps the trap from forming again. You are safe. You are sealed. You are seen. And your best days are not behind you. They are just beginning. The bleeding has stopped. The warning has been received. And now, you walk not with fear, but with full assurance that God is with you, ahead of you, and within you, writing a new story where nothing will be lost again. This is the reward of surrender. When you finally said yes to seeing the truth and stopped running from what needed healing, heaven responded not with punishment but with provision. And now, the protection around you is not temporary, it is permanent because it is born from awareness, not avoidance. You are no longer vulnerable to the same spiritual traps that once ensnared you because your posture has changed. You're no longer acting from fear. You're walking in clarity. And in this clarity, God will begin to show you things that once confused you. He will begin to connect the dots between your prayers and His process. He will reveal why certain people could not stay, why certain doors didn't open, why the detour was divine. And with each revelation, your trust will deepen. You'll stop needing signs to believe. You'll start believing because peace has become your daily confirmation. Type Amen to trust God's plan for your life. The mistake that caused the bleeding was not just a moment of weakness, it was a reflection of where your soul needed healing. And now, that area has been touched by God's mercy. The infection that caused slow loss has been cleared out. The wound is no longer raw. And in its place, there is fresh strength, the kind that doesn't rely on perfect circumstances to stay standing. This strength is rooted in God's voice, and because of that, it is unshakable. Let this strength carry you into the decisions ahead. You will be presented with new opportunities soon. Not all of them will be from God. Some will be tests. But now, you will recognize the difference. You won't be fooled by flash anymore. You will be drawn to fruit, lasting fruit. Anything that costs your peace is too expensive. Anything that requires you to hide parts of your truth is not worth entering. You've learned the cost of spiritual bleeding, and you're not going back to it. That lesson is sealed in your soul now, and it will protect you even when others don't understand your caution. And there's something else you must know. The restoration that's beginning will not only bless you, it will overflow into others. Your healing is not just for you. It's for your family, your children, your future, your calling. Your story will become a testimony of what happens when someone listens to God's warning and chooses to correct their course. You are becoming a vessel of deliverance. And people around you will begin to notice that something has shifted. They'll sense the peace around you, the grace, the favor. They'll ask what changed, and you'll know, it was this moment. This message. This surrender. You are now walking in an atmosphere where blessings don't just visit, they remain. Where favor doesn't fade, it multiplies. Where healing isn't temporary, it becomes identity. You are not broken. You are healed. And because you are healed, you no longer need to live in defense mode. You can live in receiving mode. You can stop guarding your heart out of fear and start opening it with discernment. You are protected now, not by walls you built, but by peace you've received. And as you walk forward, miracles will become normal. Not just loud, dramatic ones, but quiet, everyday miracles. Unexpected checks. Reconciliation in relationships. Sudden moments of peace in places that once felt heavy. Doors opening without you knocking. Words flowing when you used to feel blocked. Strength rising when you thought you had none left. These are the signs of divine healing. This is how God proves to you that He never left, even when it felt like you were alone. He was always near, waiting for the moment your heart would open again to His full protection. Now you must nurture this restoration. Feed it with truth, with prayer, with stillness. Don't rush back into noise. Don't numb yourself with distraction. Stay close to the presence that woke you up. Keep your heart soft. Let this peace expand. Let this season of healing teach you how to carry power without pressure. The most powerful people in God's kingdom are not the loudest. They are the ones who have learned to be still, to listen, to obey. That is who you are now. Quietly powerful. Fully healed. Firmly rooted.